Okay, Justin, I'll give you an easier question. It's from our co-host who's sick, who's quarantined right now from whatever the hell he has. Alex says,
COVID 2042.
Yeah, he goes, Alex, I want to know what the Ballin and Burgundy boys think of the Cowboys that followed Dan Quinn to Washington. Who are your favorites? Who has impressed you the most? And who has not performed as well as you expect? And this is just strictly Cowboy players who have come over to the Washington Commanders.
I mean, they've all performed pretty well.
Yeah, fuck.
I mean, each of those guys had a good game or two. Flowers is the guy who I'm shocked. I didn't think he'd have 8.5 sacks being fourth in the NFL. Like, I thought this guy would get 5 or 6 sacks. But even the pressures and how he plays and his high motors amazed me as a fan. So,
yeah, it's crazy. We were always Fowler fans, and it was hard for him to get reps because he had DeMarcus Lawrence and Micah Parsons ahead of him. But on limited reps last year or the last couple years, the guy would put up decent numbers. And he's obviously bought into Dan Quinn's system, and Dan Quinn sees the type of player he is. And it's worked out for not only you guys, but for Dan Quinn and Fowler Jr. himself. Like, he's getting up there in age, and to be having a career year, to maybe get one last big payday before he retires. I mean, you got to give props to the guy. A guy that I want to ask you guys about that I haven't heard much about. What about Tyler Biadasz? How do you guys find him as a center?
I think he's been as advertised. I think he's been consistent, doesn't give up a lot of pressures. The penalties, I think, is just a team issue. Whether it's from Cosme, whether it's from the tackles, whether it's from Allegretti. I've seen one or two from Tyler, but nothing too bad. I think he's given up maybe 2 sacks this season, and Jaden's only taken, I think, 22 when Sam was taking 50 by now. But he's consistent. He's a team leader. I think he'll be at least a captain twice more this season because we're doing this rotating weekly captains thing, which I'm actually enjoying because you get guys like Jeremy Reeves, you guys get guys like Luvu and Wagner and Terry and a bunch of guys kind of getting that, I guess, honor or prestige of, hey, I'm being the captain this week. I got to lead my guys. Some weeks better than others at this rate. But I think everyone outside of...
Is that a Dan Quinn thing too? Because I feel like we had that when Quinn was coaching the Cowboys.
Rotating captains, I think it is a Quinn thing. You guys might have had it like periodically, but I remember you guys kind of setting like Dax and Abdi as captain.
Yeah, I think it was strictly defense. Yeah. I mean, again, I could be just making that up just to try to be relevant with you right now, but
well, I mean, you're not supposed to tell them you're making it up. You're supposed to act like you knew.
But the thing with like Dan Quinn, when you talk about Biadasz and these guys like Fowler, like Dan Quinn, when we lost Dan Quinn and he left us, which was probably the best decision he ever made. The whole idea about Dan Quinn being the defensive coordinator versus Mike Zimmer. Zimmer's going to show you a scheme. If you don't get it after the first time, he might help you tweak it. And then if you don't get it, you're out. Dan Quinn would change stuff based on the players that he has. So Dan Quinn was looked at as like a player's coach.
Player's guy.
Where at Mike Zimmer's like, you're going to do it my way, or if you can't do it, it's
you're going to do it my way. You're going to suck. You're not going to stop anyone. Yeah. I will say this too.
Crack him if you got him. Is that
let's get one of those in this, kid. Crack him if you got him.
Oh, get it.
You already know. Crack him if you got him.
Yeah, there it is.
Hey, LaCroix is just as good as cracking.
What flavor? I will judge you.
I got pamplemousse right now.
Okay, that's not bad. I do dig those. I do. Okay, we're going to just pull the Band-Aid off, all right? Pull the screen up. We're going to pull the Band-Aid off. Last time we had these guys up, we had the predictions. We went through predictions. And, of course, us coming off of 3, 12, and 15 seasons, we were pretty confident. We were pretty confident that the Dallas Cowboys were going to have, I would say, at least 10 wins. I would have called you a liar if you told me the Dallas Cowboys weren't going to win 10 games this year. So let's just, like I said, pull the Band-Aid off. John, I know you have our stupid predictions written down. So what do you got? Like, I know you went through, you did some homework. Dish it out on us. We can take it.
I definitely did some homework because I didn't want to come unprepared, unlike a Carolina team half the time. So Chris had you guys by week 12, 5-5. I had you guys 5-6 by week 12, and you guys are currently 3-7. So you guys have disappointed us once again.
Oh, man, I wish we were your guys' predictions.
Yeah.
You guys had us 5, and you guys also has 5 and 6 by the time we got here. So we were pretty much in the same boat of 1 game under going into this week. However, we are currently dropping 2 in a row to 7 and 4. But if we went 500 the rest of the season, we would have a 10-win season. If you guys went 500 the rest of the season, you would have 9 wins.
Yeah, which we would not want at this point.
Yeah, we don't.
No. I take that back. I miscalculated my own head. You guys would have 6 wins.
Okay, that's okay. That might we still might get something there. We might still get a top 10 pick. 6 wins might not get you a top 10 pick, but
Well, I think all I'm seeing on this list here is a possible win against the Giants and a possible win against the Panthers.
yeah, nothing else is looking very, very probable. The remaining
And then
schedule.
I could see
Washington Giants. Well, you say that Cincinnati, as much as they're throwing up good yards, they keep losing. Tampa Bay's without Chris Godwin and Mike Evans for right now.
Yep.
So you guys could win at least 3 in a row: Cincinnati, Carolina, Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I think that would, again, we're not team tank at all. I want a top 10 draft pick. I want a top 5 draft pick, but during the game, I will never cheer for the Cowboys to lose ever. I just won't do it. Does a top 5 pick when you have no chance of making the postseason sound amazing? Of course it does. You guys know that very, very, very well. Like, sure, I'm telling you right now, you would love to replay last season and get that second overall pick and secure Jaden Daniel. Like, it's amazing, right?
Oh,
that's actually a pretty sweet shirt.
That's a sick shirt.
That's actually a pretty sweet shirt.
I had to get it. I saw Barstool put. I was like, you know what? I will drop a good 30 bomb out of my paycheck and go get this. And it's comfortable. It doesn't shrink in the wash.
So that's key. But I'll ask both of you here right now. This season's exceeding expectations for you guys, right? It has to be.
Yeah. It as of right now, currently stands absolutely. And I mean, we've talked about this on our show. I've talked about it with a few others, with Lake Lewis. If you guys had told me at the start of the season we'd be 7 and 4 going into week 12, I would have said, what kind of narcotics are you on? Because I got passed around in the sharing circle because I have like 5 wins here, 7 win, kind of floor. If we draw the rest of the games, we get us that 7-win floor. But I don't see that happening. But I will gladly exceed expectations. And through week 10, Jaden was in the MVP conversation. Granted, early, way early.
Yep.
But Schefter and Greeny and Stephen A. and Orlovsky and Shannon Sharp were saying, as much as this young buck is a rookie, up until that point, he was playing better than Joe Burrow. He was playing better than Jalen Hurts. He was playing better to a degree than Brock Purdy. Although I have Josh Allen right now as my MVP, like 16 touchdowns, like 2 interceptions on the year. But I think outside of Bo Nix and Brock Bowers currently standing, Jane Daniels has locked in that Rookie of the Year handedly.
Yeah, and there's going to be kind of peaks and valleys, right? For a rookie, you're going to have up and down games, right?
Yep.
The more tape that he puts out there, teams are going to be able to adapt and attack him a little bit. I think it's going to show you guys a lot what he can do in the next 3 games, right? He's kind of hitting the valley. Can he then now peak again?